Hello all, and welcome to a post-work sort of beer commentary, I suppose. Not really a true review. Um, I was going to dub this like something, but then I realized it was kind of going to be a little bit too flippant for what I'm going to be talking about today. So yeah, I'm just going to call it straight and say this is the video in which I talk about um, the brewing scene in Lahaina. As you probably all know by now, there was a brush fire that got out of control a few weeks ago in Lahaina and basically burnt the majority of the town uh, to the ground. It was there was high force winds blowing, and like most towns, including, and like most buildings in Hawaii, including the one I live in, it is constructed of primarily wood. And so, yeah, they say that parts of Lahaina, the burning temperature was so high that it was about as high as a crematorium. It was melting metal, cracking stone, just complete incineration. And unfortunately, due to a variety of reasons, proper warning was not given to the citizens of Lahaina and wider West Oahu. And there were very many casualties. And they are still working on trying to find and identify all the missing people. Right now, the list is in the hundreds. Current list of the known deceased is about 115 at this point. And I'd like to go and just emphasize that this is not like this is not a densely populated area of Hawaii. The town of Lahaina has about 10,000 people, 10,000 residents, and the surrounding area, surrounding rural areas, about another 5,000. So it's not some place that is densely populated. So, you know, with a probable amount of people being, deceased from the fire being in the hundreds, that's quite an impact. And while it might seem kind of odd to talk about like the beer scene in Lahaina, the truth be told, it does kind of behoove speaking about. I want to go and speak about the vast loss and destruction first, because obviously that's what matters much more. But I'm literally mostly a beer review channel, or an alcohol review channel, or a beverage review channel. And, that's pretty much my bailiwick. I'm not here to go and discuss politics. I'm not here to go and really discuss controversies outside of the beer world. And so, I feel that it's worth talking about the beer scene in Lahaina because for the small size of the town, it was very important in, the craft beer scene here in Hawaii. In that one, the largest 100% independently owned brewer in Hawaii, Maui Brewing Company, got its start in Lahaina town. And that there, eventually they grew so big that they moved their primary brewing facility over to Kihei, which has more of an industrial district for the island of Maui. Not that Maui is particularly built up, but it's only got about 130,000 people living on the island. the island is larger than Oahu, which is the island I live on, which has comparatively about like 1 million people living on it, maybe slightly less at this point because we've been depopulating. So it's not a particularly urban area. So, but anyways, I digress. Maui Brewing moved its primary brewing facilities and tasting room, what have you, to other areas of Maui. I believe they did still have like a tasting room in Lahaina, but the brewing facilities that they had in Lahaina was taken over by Kohola. And I reviewed this fairly recently, so I'm not really going to talk too much about the qualities of the beer, other than to say I did enjoy this one. I enjoyed their Lokahi Pilsner more, but I couldn't find it. As you know, the brewery burned down, so what is in the stores is what is available right now until it is no longer available. So they don't really have much of a social media presence. I mean, they have the accounts, but they don't have somebody who's regularly updating, everything. But on the news, the owner, well, I shouldn't say the owner, but the managers were um, interviewed. Like I said, Kohola is a collective slash co-op. I'm not really sure what the difference in between a collective and a co-op is, but it's not an LLC. It's not an LLC or a publicly held company or anything like that. So they said that they would rebuild, and I'm hoping that, they run into the minimum of roadblocks in rebuilding. They also mentioned in that news broadcast that all their employees are accounted for, though many have lost basically everything. But everyone who worked there has been accounted for, and you know, so they weren't the only people there. Waikiki Brewing also had a tasting room in the area that was also destroyed in the fire. And many other bars and restaurants that proudly served local products were also destroyed in the fire. So I guess without much further ado, I should just go and crack this open because I've already been talking for like 8 minutes and I haven't opened the beer yet. So I really just kind of wanted to go, say that Lahaina really punched above its weight in regards to craft beer, in the state of Hawaii, given its small size, rural location, and what have you. Should read the back here. A smooth, grainy, and slightly bready classic pale ale. This flavor matches beautifully with the citrus, tangerine flavors and aromas of Chinook, Mosaic, Mandarina, Bavaria, and Citra hops. Locals in Hawaii love to chat, or what we say, talk story, from Pidgin English. This is what this beer truly represents. Good time with friends and ohana. Ohana meaning family, for those of you who haven't watched Lilo and Stitch. Hmm. Yeah, it's a spot right now. So yeah, 5.1 ABV. Let's see here. Do they have the IBUs on this? Yes, 42 IBUs. So here's to hoping that once everything is cleaned up, um, all the dead are mourned and buried, and the locals return to build their homes and businesses again, that Lahaina once again, kind of becomes the center for craft brewing in the state of Hawaii. You know, just because it so much has been lost in this fire, so much history. Lahaina was one of the capitals of the Kingdom of Hawaii before it moved to Honolulu. So there were very many historical buildings and documents that were lost in the fire. And yeah, this is a good beer. I really, I'm kind of pausing here because I think I've kind of run out of things to say. You know, um, there's, yeah, I really have run out of things to say. In regards to beer, I still see these around on the shelves. Um, the hazy IPA, the pale ale. Like I said, my personal favorite from them that's part of their canned line, the Pilsner, is no longer available. But while it's on the shelves, um, purchase it and purchase the items. Or their website is still up, so like they don't sell their merch directly out of their storefront. It's like most things now, it's sold off of the internet, so they still have merch for sale. Buying the merch obviously will help them get funds to rebuild. If you want to go and just donate to the general charity relief and rebuilding funds for Lahaina. There are many websites available. I'm You can really take your pick of them. I don't I have a couple that I have donated to, in that they represent particular interests of mine in rebuilding, and you know can either donate to a general fund or you know a sort of specialized interest one. Um, I've debated putting the links in this video, but I don't think I will, because I don't really want to. Like I said, I don't really want to be like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Who knows? I might not even upload this. I'm gonna watch it later and see if it comes across as disrespectful or flippant. I mean, it it's something I do care about, and I do think it's something that deserves wider knowledge. But given, I think that it would have been better for me to go and talk about it before this tragedy than after. But if I do record it and I talk about it and upload it, then it's somewhat up there. Because I don't think enough people have talked about it, how important Lahaina is to the craft brewing story here in the state of Hawaii. Yeah. So, yeah. And I guess I'm going to end it here and, just kind of put this up. So, you know, yeah. You guys have a good night and cheers.